Hello and welcome to Mrs. Riley's Maths videos. So we're continuing our videos on decimals. Today we're looking at expressing a fraction as a decimal. Well, what do we mean by that? Some of these are going to be really easy because you know them already. For instance, you know that a half, if I was to write that as a decimal, well, half a euro is 50 cents, so a half is 0.5, or we can say 0.50 if we want. Okay, a quarter, you might know that a quarter, if you lived in America, a quarter is 25 cents. You might know that a tenth is 0.1. You might know even that a fifth is 0.2. Okay, so as we look at these, they're the ones that we know, they're the ones that we come across regularly, and we might even just know in our heads. What about if we didn't know these in our heads and we had to work them out? If we needed to change, for instance, 1/4 to a decimal, and we didn't know that it was 0.25, how do we go about it? Well, 1/4 like that, we usually say 1/4 means 1 divided by 4. So let's see what happens when you divide 4 into 1. Okay, 4 doesn't go into 1, does it? It goes 0 times. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. We subtract and we get 2. We bring down the 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. And we can see that 5 by 4 is 20. There's nothing left over, and that's as far as we need to go. So we work out what a fraction is as a decimal by doing the division. We'll talk in a minute about how it does that on your calculator, because it makes it really easy on your calculator. 3/4. Let's see what 3/4 would be if we want to change that to a decimal. So we're going to divide 4 into 30 this time. Well, into 3 really, but into 30. 4 goes into 3 0 times. 4 goes into 30, well, 4 sevens are 28, so 4 goes into 37 times. 28, subtract. That's going to give us 2. Bring down the 0. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 by 4 is 20. Aha, that's good. And there's our decimal point above our decimal point here. So 3/4 is 0.75. Let's take a couple you might not be so familiar with. Let's take, say, 5/8. Okay, 5/8. So we're going to divide 8 into 5. 8 doesn't go into 5, 8 goes into 50, 8 6s are 48, so 8 goes into 56 times, and subtracting we get 2, bring down the 0, 8 goes into 20, it goes in twice, doesn't it, 16, so subtract that, we're left with 4, bring down the 0, 8 goes into 45 times, we put the decimal point above where it was in our question. So 5/8 is 0.625. Now, what sometimes happens is we have a decimal where it just goes on and on and on and on. Let's take an example here. Say we're looking for 3/7. 3/7, what's that as a decimal? So 7 divided into 3. 7 doesn't go into 3. 7 goes into 34 times. 4 by 7 is 28. Okay. So subtract and I get 2. Bring down the 0. 7 goes into 20 twice, doesn't it? It goes 14. 2 by 7 is 14. Subtract is 6. Bring down the 0. 7 goes into 60. Oh, 7 goes into 68 times. I'm running out of space here, haven't I? 7 goes into 68 times. Subtract is 40. 7 goes into 45 times. You can see it's just going on and on and on. And what we would find actually, if we work that out, we would find that 3/7 is in fact 0.428571, and then it's got this little dot, which means on and on and on and on and on. Okay, in that case they might ask us to find it to 2 decimal places, for instance, which would be what? It would be here, wouldn't it? 0.43, or they might give us some more guidance on what to do. How do we do it in our calculators? Here we are, 3/7. There's 2 ways you can do it. 3/7, so you can either put 3/7 into your calculator, do equals. It's, if you can see there, it comes up as 3/7, and then you press this SD button, and there's your decimal. Okay, so that was 3/7 equals, and then SD. Okay, or you can just do 3 divided by 7 equals, it comes up as a fraction first of all, and then you press your SD button. Okay, I hope that helps.